Hello YouTube and my subscribers. Thank you very much for tuning in and thank you very much for wanting to watch me talk about dumb people. So today I went for a walk and I went to the local sandwich shop to get some day-old bread and a cup of soup, which is one of my favorite things. Cheesy enchilada soup, by the way. Good. Well, the customer in front of me today was asking my friend who was behind the counter. I usually go in because my friend's there and he'll give me free stuff. So he asked my friend behind the counter, "So what's this day-old bread stuff over here?" And my friend proceeded to tell him that it was bread made yesterday. Bread that they made extra of and couldn't sell yesterday, so they put it up today. And the customer said, "Well, how old is it?" And my friend told him, "Well, it was bread made yesterday." And the customer said, "How old is it?" And this went on in a loop. How old is it? It's a day old. It was made yesterday. For about 30, 40 seconds. And then finally my friend said, "Sir, we make bread every morning when we open. We open at 8 a.m. This bread was made at 8 a.m. yesterday, so it therefore is 1 day old bread. It has been 24 hours since this bread was made." And the customer looked at him, nodded, seemed like he finally understood and said, "Well, you should come up with an easier way to understand that. Day-old bread is so confusing. And anyway, who would want day-old bread?" And my friend saw me behind this customer and said, "Well, I guarantee you I can sell bread or day-old bread to almost any customer who wants day-old bread, of course." And he said, and the customer said, "There's nobody who wants it. You couldn't sell it to nobody." So the customer stepped aside as he was waiting for his stuff. He apparently had already paid. So I walk up and said, "Hey Justin, could I have my usual?" And he said, "Okay, sure. Some day-old bread and some cheesy enchilada soup." And the customer who was ahead of me looked at me and glared at me funny. So my friend handed me my soup and my bread and said, "Hey, it's on the house, man." And then the customer said, "Oh, you had that planned out. You couldn't. No, he doesn't actually want that. You just know him and he's doing you a favor so you can prove me wrong." And then the customer, to his dismay, looked over, saw me ripping open the bag and shoving the day-old bread into my mouth because it is wonderful, wonderful bread. And he said, "Oh, you're just being rude to me. I'm leaving." So the customer walked out, and that was when his Philly cheesesteak sandwich and his cup of chicken noodle soup showed up on the counter. And my friend said, "Well, he already paid for it, so it's yours." So I took it, and I had a wonderful, wonderful lunch today of a bowl of chicken noodle soup, a bowl of cheesy enchilada soup, a loaf of day-old bread, and a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for subscribing. Tell your friends. Have a good one.